Good evening, disc golfers. Tonight I'd like to give you a little tutorial on how to put together one of these disc golf racks. So start off with what comes in the kit that you got for me. First off, there are 24 of the long rack pieces, 30 of the risers, and 18 of the 6-inch wide spacers, as well as a bag with all of your fittings, and then some PVC cement and a chain to attach to the wall if you would like. So let's get started. I guess the main thing I wanted to make the video for is to try to get everybody aware of what you need to do and what things you really should watch out for, so that you don't glue stuff together that's not going to be level. And that's really the main key. So inside your fittings, you have 4 of the top brackets for the top shelf, 10 of the 5-way fittings, which are the middle bracket fitting, and a whole bunch of these 4-ways, which are the sides. So you can see on the directions that this came with, the 3-ways are the black ones, 4-ways are purple, and then the 5-ways are in blue. So it should be pretty easy. The directions are pretty self-explanatory, but there are a couple options you can do with how you line things up. So we'll start with how you do step 1, and then I'll give you another option that you can do too if that makes it a little bit easier. So start off, let's grab up our smallest 6-inchers. Open this up. We'll start with those guys. So grab 2 of the 4-ways, 2 of the 5-ways, and I guess 2 more of the 4-ways. So the very first thing that you do to put together, as it says in step 1, the first part doesn't matter a whole lot because you can't screw it up. So I think that, I recommend that you do the cement on both sides. It makes things slide in a lot easier. So the first one goes in real easy. And we'll do a 5-way. Make sure you watch how you put these together. If you throw this on the side, it's obviously not going to work. But it all kind of explains itself in the directions. Do one of these. And you can kind of see and feel if it seats all the way, and you can look inside the end and make sure the pipe's all the way down. You don't have a lot of time, so you want to make sure that you check and make sure that it's all the way in there, because this kind of sets up how stable the rack's going to be in the end. So it's pretty quick, pretty easy. So, I mean, that's the start of the whole operation. So, the other thing you're going to want to make sure is you have a really good, flat, hard surface, because you're going to be lining this up with the surface. That's how you're going to get things level. So, a table or a workbench or something like that, or if you've got a floor or something, but make sure the cement might drip. So you're going to want to put some paper down or some plastic or something like that. But I got some plywood, so it doesn't really matter. So this is where things get a little bit, I guess not difficult, but lining these up and making sure that they're nice and flat. See, no rocking or anything. That's going to be the key to getting this rack as level and as stable as possible. So the first thing that you can do, which I found works out okay, is to just go about it how it looks. But I'll give you some more options here. So we'll do the first one this way. So make sure you get glue on both sides so that you got a little bit of time to work. If you do only one side, it's not gonna give you a lot of time at all. So you get them good and level, and then just push them together, making sure that it's as level as it can go and that it's seated. That's it. Pretty stable. That's one option. I guess I think that works pretty great, but if you want to make really sure that you're getting this correct, what you can do, well, I'll do this one because it has to be done this way. But so get it nice and level. Whoops. Like I said, put it on both sides. It's in there, nice and level. So this one's solid, this one's solid, this one's not yet, but what we can do is take some of these long ones, which are going to be going on next. So it should be good and set. By now it doesn't take long at all, but what we can do is put these on here right out of the gate. Get this on, and you're just kind of getting yourself lined up real good. So there's got a little bit of play in that. So now you know that this is as level as it can be. So, well, not anymore, but you kind of put it all together, get it all level, pop it apart, and then get some on your pipe, and fill in the fitting. Line it up and push together. And that way you know that you're level, you're square, and you're ready to go. So I guess at this point I wouldn't pop it apart right away and let that set for maybe a minute if you can, or do a couple of them in a row. But it's about that easy. So because we're just doing a little tutorial, pop these ends off. Set that guy aside, so it should stay good and level. And then we'll try these. So these are all glued already, and obviously this part's pretty easy from here. Start sticking stuff together. So that's how you make all 6 shelves. Well, 5 shelves in the top rack, but it's a pretty simple construction. Go on there, go on there. Slam it in. So I mean, you can see how quick this rack does go together. Especially, I mean, if you do one or more, it doesn't take very long to stick it all together. Put it in there. All good. Yeah, that one's already tight, as tight as it's gonna get. So we'll get here, a little in here. With these beveled edges, they seem to slide in really nice. So get them ready, push, make sure that it's seated all the way. It's seated. Push on the corners. You see how solid that is. Good and level. Already ready to put in the last one here. So this is good and level. Put these ends in. And you know, probably seen some of the posts around places, and I mean, these racks will hold like 450 discs. Put some stuff, you can put boxes of more discs on top if you've got even more, or you can put bags on top. I've got 2 completely loaded disc golf bags on the top of mine, and not seeing any sagging or anything yet, so that's pretty good. Also, if you want to paint it, I would recommend wiping the whole thing down with acetone, fingernail polish remover or something. It seems to help get the paint to stick a little bit better. I will say it takes a lot of paint. I mean, you're looking at probably 5 cans to do it well with good coverage. So line those back up and push them together. And there you go. I can see that it's as stable as it's going to get. No rocking at all. You've already got your bottom rack going. So from here, I like to build all of them like this. Set them on something nice and hard and flat, like the floor, so you know that it's going to be level. But we'll show you just for this tutorial from here. Obviously this part gets pretty easy. Put a little glue on there, a little glue inside, stack them up. Didn't put any on the inside. This one, because it's not a lot going on, you can get away with not putting any glue on either side. I've also thought, and I haven't tried it yet, you can probably put these in without glue at all. Or I guess cement, this isn't technically glue. And then potentially you could be able to take this apart if you want to move it to another place and you can't move such a big apparatus around because these things are kind of big and clumsy. So I haven't done it yet, but I'd like to check it out. And the main thing though is doing this is you're going to really want to make sure those things seat. And without this cement, which actually is melting the plastic a little bit, it can be difficult to get everything to seat all the way, but you might be able to, hit it with a rubber mallet on top or put a board or something down and tap it down to get it to seat well before you put the next racks on. But I haven't tried it yet. If anybody does, please put some, let me know, put some information in the comments or something like that. I'm sure I'll try it here one of these times when I build one. So that's what I got. Obviously on the next, so you build the next shelf, and then I find the easiest way is to put cement on all 6 posts and all 6 fittings, and then push 2 down, make sure they seat, line up the next 2, push those down, line up the last 2, push those down, and then you're ready to go. So I guess the only other recommendation would be to wipe up the cement that seeps out so it doesn't get all over and it makes it a little bit cleaner. But that's kind of the gist. That's how easy these go together. You can see how stable that is. It's not rocking at all. If you take those kind of those ideas, I guess. I guess I could show you the other way that I have done. That seems to work okay too. So the other way that I've tried is to start with the long pieces, making the exact same thing. Not much different going on. So you grab 4 of your end pieces, the 4 ways, and 2 of your 5 ways, the middle pieces, and start off by putting a long piece into your 4-way. Again, notice the way that's going up. You go up the straightaway, go up the sides. Let's see this one. There it is. You make 4 of these quick because you need 4 of them. Blow and glue. And it starts pretty easy. You can definitely go through and make all of them at once. The directions have how many of everything you'll need in them, so you can go ahead and assembly line the heck out of it if you want. And you can see how quick this can go. One more. Let's add one extra. A lot of the directions on the cans say to spin it a little bit, which on these ones you can. We're not trying to make sure that water doesn't leak, because this isn't an actual fitting like that, so it's not a big deal. But it helps get the compound around if that makes it easier. And you can kind of feel it bind and see how quick it actually sets up. So we'll do 2 of these to start. Need the cross members, which are the 6 inchers, which I think is the pink ones on the directions. So again, these don't have any lining up, so there's nothing really to think about here. You open them up, stick them in there. Seat, yeah, that's seated. And then, like the first ones, with the 5 ways, you pretty much, well, I guess we can go this route. You pretty much have to do this one without being lined up, but you can try it the other way. So, try it this way. We can put one on without any glue, just to line everything up. Stick it on. Put this one in. Another one, just to get everything lined up. You can see how it's okay. So we're all lined up, good and level. Pop one end apart. We'll go back and we'll get inside the fitting, get it around the pipe end. Make sure everything's all lined up and level again, and push together. So now we know we got these 2 set. Now we can come down here. We know it's good and level. Pop those 2 apart. Get inside the fitting. Get around the pipe. Make sure everything's nice and level, and push together. And just like that, we're nice and level. We know it's all good. So, let's see here. We can do this one the same way. So it looks the same way. So we've got our L here. Put that in just so that it lines up. Put this one in the other side. Get it all lined up. You know it's all good and level on our level surface. Pop it apart. Put some cement in the fitting, a little bit around the pipe. Make sure everything's all lined up and level, and push together. You can feel it seat, you know it's good. And then let that side set up, and pop this side off. And this one we'll do 2 at once. So get inside the fittings, around the edges, pipe, those lined up, and push them together. These are good. This side should be good and set. Pop those sides off. A little more cement. Little fittings. Oh, that's gross. Around the pipe. Line them up and push them together. You can look down as you're pushing it in. You'll see them seat. You'll be able to feel it too. So we got another shelf, just that easy. A little bit different method. Kind of make sure you know everything's getting together. But again, really nice and stable. So let's try putting the next shelf on this one. So I like to do this on the floor usually because it makes life a lot easier. Because you can kind of put your weight into it a little bit, and helps get everything down. Because You should work real quick with this cement, but to do all 6 fittings at once is a little bit difficult. So we'll go give it a nice healthy amount around the edges of all these. Enough there, a little more. Put it in here. And try to work quick. Get those 2 lined up. Pushed it down. Those 2 lined up. Push it down. And push down. You can see that they have all seated nicely. So, there you go. 2 levels done, just like that. So I hope that helps. Obviously the rest of it goes exactly the same as this until you get all 6 levels on, but that's about it. If you have any questions, always shoot me a message or leave a question in the comments and I'll try to get to them as easy as I can. So hope the build goes well. I'm always here to help in any way I can. So thanks.